We got week 11 started already. We have the New England Patriots at home to the visiting Jets, 14-7 right now. And in this game, right off the bat, I already I picked a upset special in this game. I think that the New York Jets are definitely gonna make a run. If this stays close, like how it is right now, 14-7, if this stays close within one score, and it's in the fourth quarter, I'm even more optimistic that the Jets could win this game. If the Patriots go and they score another touchdown and a field goal and they start getting away, then that might be it. I don't see them coming, making a run back, even though it has happened, but I don't see them coming back against the Patriots if they go down by more than 10 points. It's not gonna happen. But if they keep this close, yeah, it could happen. So I'm banking on the Jets in this game, man.
Well, I'm glad one of us believes in the Jets. So, uh, yeah, Patriots are gonna pull this out. I just don't see them losing at home to the Jets. I know the Jets have kept New England to 14, but the Jets have only scored 7, and I don't know if they're gonna score any more points on offense. Hopefully, special teams might help them out again, but lightning. It's hard for lightning to strike twice. So anyway, yeah. So I still favor New England.
Yeah, I got New England. So far, Fields only has 23 passing yards to Drake May's 140 passing yards. Uh, it doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. Travion Henderson had 40 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Brees Hall has 31 yards rushing. I don't see the unless my man is he returning kicks this game?
Oh,
Did
Breeze.
they bench him? Did they bench him? The guy that pulled out those returns last
Oh,
week.
let me see.
I think yeah, because I don't think the Jets are gonna allow him to foil their plans and getting that number one pick. So I don't think my man on the field this go round. So yeah, Patriots.
Patriots. All right, all right.
Yeah, Patriots.
All right, so the international game of the week, early game, 9:30 on Sunday. They are in Madrid, Spain. I was thinking that
Hmm.
was last week, but they're in Madrid. The Commanders 3-7, Dolphins 3-7. This is a worthless game right here. Although the Dolphins are saying they're making a run, they're on a 2-game winning streak. So they're trying to do something, and guess what? I'm going with the Dolphins in this game, um, because it looks like they trying to catch some momentum. They're trying to do a little something, and Washington just doesn't have a defense. So yeah, I don't see them. And Lee Tua starting to get some energy, man. Tua starting to feel good about himself. He say, you know what? I know everybody talking about my leadership and stuff like that, but I feel like this is we could turn this around. So yeah, Tua feeling good. So I'm going with the Dolphins, man.
I am a bit surprised I'm going to say this, but I'm actually going to go with the Dolphins too. Of note, Deron Payne is out because of the punch heard around the world. So that that weak defense is going to be weaker than typical. Washington's not quite San Francisco mass unit, but getting there. And then you got the guy suspended too. So I think knowing the Dolphins trying to do something, going against a team that doesn't have a good defense and is depleted because of the self-imposed uh, one-game suspension, I'm going to go with the Dolphins on this one.
Yeah, I can do it. I'm gonna go with the Commanders, man. Tua can't turn nothing around. He can't turn nothing around. That ain't happening. I think Dan Quinn is not going to allow them to manipulate the defense the way that they did last week with the run. I think they're going to definitely stuff the box. if they can get Achan under control, which I believe they'll be able to do, and put the ball into his court and have him be the focal point to try to win the game for the Dolphins, then Commanders going to come out on top. They got Mariota. Mariota's actually playing pretty good with Kingsbury. He actually is playing okay. He's not great. He's not Justin Fields out there. So that being said, I think they're going to be able to move the ball. They got their assortment of weapons. All the receivers are back. I just don't see Dolphins winning this overseas.
Why I don't believe why I don't believe you don't believe this. Why I don't believe that you don't even believe that the Commanders gonna win this game. Come
Why you
on,
think?
man.
Okay, why you think the Commanders don't have a chance to win this game?
Commanders are shot. They're shot. I'm telling you. Now you make a good point with Dan Quinn. Double it. I'm telling you, if Achan
Here's why.
gets started on these dudes, it's over.
Yeah, right. If Achan gets started, he's not going to get started. I don't think he will. Remember now, last week they had some, like I said, it was some gimmicky plays. I know it didn't look that way.
Yeah.
But they had an extra lineman on the field against the Bills, and the Bills stayed in a base nickel defense against 6 offensive linemen.
Yeah.
I don't see the Commanders doing that.
Yeah.
I don't see him doing that. And I think Tua still threw 2 picks.
Yeah, 2. Yeah.
He still threw 2 picks that game.
Yeah.
He did not have an awesome game. So if you
because he was going up against a nickel defense.
right. So if that, I believe Dan Quinn is going to have a better defensive schematic, right? Plan than the Bills did last week.
Yeah.
And they're going to nullify Achan, and they're going to force Tua to have to beat him. And I don't think Tua can beat him. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got that.
And it's overseas.
Yeah.
Which requires you to have all your ducks in a row. You got to make sure that everybody's prepped. Make sure you have your, not just your game plan, but the logistics of making sure that everybody's in the right headspace.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ain't.
And weren't they? They were in Germany, right? So they stayed international, didn't they? Miami, or were they stateside last week?
No, that was Colts Atlanta.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
in Germany last week.
Never mind.
Yeah, the Vikings, but the Vikings are the only team to go 2 different countries.
Gotcha.
2 weeks in a row.
Wow. Yeah.
So
I remember that. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. In this next game, here we go. Carolina Panthers against the Atlanta Falcons. They're gonna be in Atlanta at home. Carolina's coming to Atlanta. Is Bryce Young back?
I think he's supposed to be back.
Bryce Young playing. Let me see. Yeah. Bryce Young is playing. Yeah, I'm going with Carolina. That's all I got to say about this. I'm going with Carolina.
I'm gonna make the prediction and then I'm gonna qualify it. I think it's gonna be super close. I'm gonna go with Atlanta because I feel like I shouldn't go with Atlanta, so I'm gonna go with Atlanta. Dowdle's questionable. I might even change that and go with Carolina if Dowdle's gonna play, but I'm gonna go with the Falcons because something tells me I shouldn't go with the Falcons, and I'm gonna do my George Costanza pick for today. I'm going to do the exact opposite of what everything in my bony and my fiber is telling me. So I'm going to go with the Falcons on this one.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
Okay. Before I give my pick,
Yeah.
I want to give a little bit of insight here on what happened this past week.
Yeah.
And this is a big cause for concern for our boy Raheem Morris, because I like Raheem.
Yeah.
I hate to see Raheem going through this situation with all the chips that was allowed to him, they should be playing a lot better, right? We all agree that their record should be much better than what it is, right? But during the player conference, a press conference this week, they had Penix up on the podium and they were asking him some questions, okay? And one of the questions was whether he had anyone on or off the field that he could turn to for advice or mentorship, right? Like another quarterback or a specific coach on the staff. That was the question. Who could he go to for mentorship on or off the field, either a quarterback or someone on the coaching staff? Does he have someone?
Right.
I watched the conference, so I have the context of which he said it, of how he said it. So it wasn't like a thoughtless response. He actually paused and he gave it some thought before he responded. And after he gave it some thought, his first answer, the first word of his answer was no. Okay? He says, no. And then he goes on to say, how did he say it? He said, mentally, my fiance, she's always there for me. So I know whenever I get home, it doesn't matter how I played. She's always going to be there for me. She's going to have a smile on her face, give me a hug, make me feel good, no matter what. That's the first person that came out of, came out of his mouth, right? When he answered the question. Not a coach, not a player, not an ex-player, not someone on the staff. It's fiance, right? Which mental support is good. You want to have somebody in your court. I get that. But that wasn't what the people, that's not what the reporter was looking for. Okay. Then he goes on, but as far as physically on the field stuff, there's nobody I talk to as far as another quarterback or anything like that. I do have people who reach out to me. I do have quarterback coaches back at home that reach out to me as well, telling me I need to clean this up, I need to clean that up, right? And stuff like that. And when he said back at home, he clarified like high school coaches, college coaches, right? Yeah. But no one in the league. Mm-hmm. So this kind of reminds me of the whole Caleb Williams situation last year with the Eberflus regime, where he felt like he was by himself. Mm-hmm. And you got an uber talented young quarterback, you would want to make sure that he has all of the tools available so that he can be the best version of himself at this young stage in his career as he can possibly be. And it seems as if Penix doesn't have that. Mm. So that being said, I'm picking the Falcons to win this game.
Yeah.
Okay. Falcons going to pull this one out. I think they do. If Dowdle is still out, or not that's still out, but if he is out, if he is hurt, I feel Falcons, they can probably, maybe haphazardly pull out this game and win.
All right. Hey, look. So,
but I do. But all of that aside, I feel for Penix, man. And not only that, and I think this has to be a broader conversation. Probably not now, but at some point. But I don't know what Raheem is doing. This, given your second chance, all of these years, you finally got another chance to do this thing, be a head coach. You had to have had a better plan for the offense, especially when you have all of the necessary weapons to be successful. Yeah. You have a top flight wide receiver, top flight running back. These two, you have like the top three in terms of talent at those two positions, and a young, competent quarterback.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
What's the problem? Yeah.
What's the problem?
I'm just disappointed, to hear that. But I'm even more disappointed in Kirk Cousins. I'm disappointed in Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins, he claims to be, this great guy, and I know it's a competition and it's a battle, and you want to play and et cetera, et cetera. But he positions himself in the media as this great guy, Christian guy. But for Penix to say that, sometimes you have to put yourself back and try to mentor the young man and try to help to bring him along. So that's disappointing and I'm disappointed in Kirk Cousins for
You,
because of who he says he is in public. So if you
who
if
does?
what said go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No. He how he portrays himself all the time is, man, I'm here to mentor. I'm here to, yeah, I didn't like getting benched, but I'm here. He could ask me any questions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He said that. And for him to say that is very disappointing. Very disappointing.
Yeah, I mean,
Joe Flacco's
go
talked
ahead.
about this, right? The duality of how do I help the team, but
Right,
hey, when it comes down to it, I want that job too, right?
right, right,
And there's a way to do it where they got questions, you answer the questions. You just ain't trying to, like, his job is not to make Penix the best quarterback he could be. If Penix got questions, Penix could come to ask him, he should answer the question. But I think there's an aspect of one, Penix probably being just in the second year, not knowing it's on him to go ask those
right.
questions. Because Cousins ain't I don't it would be nice if Cousins was super nice like Kurt Warner was, right? But most quarterbacks ain't gonna go out of their way to shepherd their replacement, right? Because kids got to eat, they need braces, right? So, and then secondly, I'm not sure Penix understands yet. If it ain't in the building, he'd take some of that money and go get himself a quarterback guru and bring that person in and have that person helping him because it's that critical, right? But youth is wasted on the young, right?
Yeah,
And no,
yeah,
you in the opportunity and you don't, because you're new to it, you don't realize what you could do to make yourself better in a situation. There are some folks who are emotionally mature enough who have other people who help steer them in the right direction, but to come to it yourself, you usually come to it when it's too late to do it. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
yeah. Links. I get where you coming from with Cousins, but I don't put the blame on him.
Yeah.
I don't expect any quarterback. I don't care how Christiany or right spiritual they claim to be. At the end of the day, when it all comes down to it, they're competitors and they're trying to win a spot.
Yeah.
And anybody come in and taking their spot is like taking food off of their table,
Yeah.
as well. And he isn't having any of that. And then you got the emotions all mixed into that as well.
Yeah.
I can't expect anyone, a lot of these players to be like what Doc said, like Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner is one of one
I was
to
just
be able
about
to
to
do
say.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, he's one
Yeah.
of one, and we saw how that karma came back for him, and he was able to move on from the Giants to the Cardinals and then make it to a Super Bowl again
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
he's a special person.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never considered Kirk Cousins in that class,
Yeah.
either on both on the field and off the field.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
Okay, but you got to put the majority of this on both Penix and Raheem, right? Penix needs to find a way to make it like find the information and the answers himself. He shouldn't be waiting for people to come and reach out to him. He need to be seeking out people.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one. And then you have someone like Raheem Morris, who where you have this special talent at quarterback, and you see that he's struggling, and you see that he doesn't have the necessary resources around him to help guide him along this path. You need to figure that out and try to give that and allow him to tap into some sort of external resource to get him through this. And it
Yeah.
doesn't seem as if Raheem is doing that.
Yeah.
So I put 50% of this on Raheem, 50 on Penix.
Yeah.
Like they share the blame here.
Yeah. Yeah. I got you. I got you. Yeah.
Hello, Matt Ryan. Hello, Chris Chandler.
Yeah.
Right?
Y'all mind coming down to the
Someone.
facility just for a bit?
Yeah.
I got someone here who need to talk to y'all.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and maybe that's happened. Maybe but for him to be like, I ain't got nobody
Yeah.
Mhm.
1.5 years in. Yeah, that's a problem.
That's telling. Yeah.
Like I don't know who their third string quarterback is, but I would have had someone on that third string that could like that's the purpose. You
That's your
need
job.
to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
in that quarterback room, and I need you to help guide this quarterback.
Yeah. 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 We'll see how that continue out. Hopefully, you get some help, man.
Yeah.
In this next game, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to Buffalo to play the Buffalo Bills. This is a good game. I like this game. This is critical for both teams. The Buccaneers coming back off their bye week. They're 6-3. Buffalo is also 6-3. Buffalo, after taking the L, they want to turn it around again. For some reason, I am. I don't know if Buffalo is who they really say they are. And I'm not. I just don't. I'm not feeling Buffalo right now. I think I as much as I also don't like Tampa Bay. However, I'm definitely gonna have to go with Tampa Bay. I know Tampa Bay is injured, and they got injuries, but it's never stopped Baker Mayfield. It hadn't stopped him. So yeah, they're gonna continue, and I think Buffalo loses two straight. I'm going with Tampa Bay in this game, man.
So I know Tampa Bay's got some injuries on their defense, but their defense is playing pretty decent. And I think with Todd Bowles, they're gonna do a good job of countering Buffalo's offense. And I think with Baker Mayfield and Ibuka, they they doing what they do. Each week, every week, they showing up. So this is sort of one of those like these two teams are kind of, I don't want to say posers, but they're shaky. Like it's chairs with like three legs, and which one is the sturdier of the three-legged chairs? And I pun intended, I lean a bit more towards Tampa. So yeah, I think Tampa's going to take this one in Buffalo and beat Buffalo.
Yeah, I think we're 3 for 3 on this one. I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay. I think, just like both of you said, I think they're just the more stable team. Um, they are a little bit beat up, but Baker Mayfield, he really has this team steady. You don't feel like they're kind of teetering out of control. No matter what pieces are not there, he still seems to make play. His play keeps everything seem efficient, all right, and point it in the right direction. The defense is rock solid. Um, I don't know what's happening to Buffalo. That game last week, the inability to make in-game adjustments worries me, and they seem to be too dependent on Josh Allen, right? So with that, I think the Bucks are going to win this one um, in Buffalo.
Yeah. All right. We all agree on that one. Um, all right. We got the Chargers traveling to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. This is easy for me. I'm going. I'm riding with my boy on this one, Justin Herbert. We they are going down there and they're gonna put a walloping on these dudes, man. It's gonna be. It's not even gonna be pretty. So the Jaguars just don't have it together. I think they were trying to peak. They were trying to do something, looking like, oh, we beat Kansas City. Whoa, this is gonna be something for us. And they're just not. They live and die by their quarterback, and the quarterback play has not been stellar. So I'm going with the Chargers easily in this game.
The Chargers are a solid team. They're putting up, 25, 30, 35 points a game, right? Like the offense does what it does, and the defense shows up more times than not. Jacksonville's kind of helter skelter. They play a weak team, they win. They play a good team, they don't. And every so often, they just don't show up at all. Yeah. I'm going with the Chargers. I don't think it's gonna be close. I think it's going to be at least a 10 point victory. I think the Chargers are that solid, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are that inconsistent. So going with the Chargers.
Yeah, we trifecta again. Chargers, Jacksonville. I just think they're trash.
Oh
They're not.
man.
They're trash. Not a good team. Again, as I spoke about it last week, Trevor Lawrence not playing well, not playing good. With the money that's been given to him, the expectations that's been put on him, he's not even close to performing the way he should be performing. He's not even close to Herbert's to where Herbert is right now in terms of his impact on the game. And you're talking about a Chargers team that's down two of their star offensive linemen, and they're still playing good. They're still playing good ball. I don't know what's going on with Jacksonville where they're just not clicking, and I don't feel like they're gonna turn it around in this game. So I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
All right. All right. This next game is this is a what division game. This is exciting. Doc, the Bears are coming to town. This is going to be, oh boy, this is a big one right here. Because Chicago is riding high. You know, I just got a text from one of our friends, who is a Chicago Bears fan, and he sent me a link, and the link was like they beat everybody in the NFC East, and and the Eagles have beaten two of the teams in the NFC North. And so, I told him, yeah, we'll go ahead and take care of the third one this week. And so anyway, he's riding high with his Bears, man. So they're coming to town. You know, Doc, I truly, is JJ McCarthy going to play in this game, or he's not going to play? Is he playing?
I'm sure he's going to play.
Okay, so all right, if
You
JJ
don't sound
McCarthy,
excited about that.
no,
Oh,
look, if JJ McCarthy is playing, I think the Vikings are going to win this game. I think the Vikings are going to win this game. Chicago's coming in, and I know Doc and the Vikings fans are sick. They don't want to see Chicago turn it around like this. And they come in with some they this is pride. This is pride. We in our house. This is pride right here. Y'all coming in here. And y'all hadn't been good in a long time. And we gonna handle business. I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings in this game, man. Doc, I'm riding with y'all.
Appreciate that. I appreciate that. This is a tough one for me, man. I wish it wasn't this tough. Because spread's like minus 2.5, which means it's almost a push at a neutral site, but they give the Bears just a little bit more of a nudge, right? I would love for McCarthy to be playing better. I think if he were, I would definitely go with my Vikings. I am hopeful that we can put the Bears in obvious passing downs so that our defensive coordinator can call some exotic defenses and try to confuse Caleb. Because if he can get Caleb's not he's not Goff. I don't think he's going to sit in the pocket and throw. Now when he scrambles, that's a whole other situation, and that's a whole other thing to deal with too, right? And so the question is whether they're going to be able to get that running game going, because then all the passing game is predicated on the running game and the play action, all that kind of stuff. I can't. I have a hard time not putting my team unless, like, to me, it's clearly obvious it ain't going to happen. So I'm going to go with my Vikings because I bleed purple.
Mm-hmm.
But oh man, like, this is a tough one, right? And especially if we can't if we can't stop that running game and they neutralize all the exotics that we like to do on obvious passing downs, yeah, could be a long night. But I'm going with the Vikings.
Yeah, Lynx. I think a birdie told me that you said you wanted the Bears to keep beating them NFC East teams, right? So I think you think they got you guys at some point. So anyway,
Some point, yeah, some
at
point.
some point, you want them to keep winning, right?
If they had other
Uh,
games,
no, you said NFC East teams.
yeah. But if they had
Yeah,
other
you
games,
said NFC
you
East
know.
teams, right? So we'll see how that turns out. But no, this is a tough one. I agree with Doc. I don't know. Had Doc picked the Bears, I think I would have picked the Vikings in this.
Oh,
I don't
see,
think I can go 3 for 3 on this one. Um, you got to have someone to kind of even this out. I'm gonna pick the Bears because I think this can go either way.
Mhm.
This game can go either way, and I feel that the Bears are due for not necessarily an upset, but for things not to kind of go their way the way they have been the past couple of games. But with that being said, um, this one is in Chicago, guys.
in Minnesota.
In Minnesota.
It's in Minnesota.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think the Bears have what it takes to be able to pull out a win. Like I said, and I'm strictly doing this to kind of even out the picks here. So I'm gonna just for that alone, and the fact that I think this matchup is kind of deadlocked. I'm gonna go with the Bears.
Gotcha. All right. Yep. Pretty even. Um. All right. So we got the 5-3-1 Green Bay Packers visiting the 2-8 Giants. Jameis Winston is going to be playing this game. Jackson Dart's not going to be in the game, but Jameis has been waiting in the wings. Jameis has been waiting. He's been patient. He's been so calm. He's been, helping Jackson Dart out, like some quarterbacks who don't help other quarterbacks out, but at least he was helping Jackson Dart, right?
He's third
He's the
string.
third
He was
string. He
third
is the
string.
third string. He is the third
Right.
string, right?
Right.
And he's been doing that. And look, the Green Bay Packers are gonna start reeling here. They are gonna start unraveling, um, based on just sheer look. Jordan Love. Everybody has put Jordan Love on this pedestal that he cannot live up to yet. I don't know if he's gonna live up to it, but I even really believed in it. I wanted him to do good, but I just don't know. I don't know. I think they're gonna start unraveling, and even with them unraveling, and the Giants don't get me wrong, the Giants defense is pretty solid. They got a solid defense. All they needed was a quarterback, and unfortunately, Jameis Winston is not it. Green Bay Packers going to win the game, man. It's just the Giants. Yeah, yeah. Jameis, good guy, um, but yeah, Packers going to find a way to win this game, and this is going to help to boost their confidence and get them back on track. So, yeah, begrudgingly, I'm going with the Packers.
These are the games that I like because you got the Packers. They lost last week, and they're going on the road. And everything should say they should beat the Giants. The Giants going through all this stuff. They just fired the head coach. They're bringing up the third string quarterback, right? But it's like, hey, this is Jameis Winston. And now we get to have the Jameis experience, like he says, in the greatest city in the world, right? You're going to love the press conferences because he's always fun with the microphone in front of him. He has no problem slinging it. Sometimes it's caught by his team. Sometimes it's caught by the other team. But he gonna push the ball downfield. I think what makes this interesting is you have lots of tape on the Packers and what they do, and we'll see if they make the adjustments because the Eagles clearly knew what the Packers like to do. And now you got a new head coach and a new quarterback, so ain't no tape on what the Giants going to do. And because of that, I'm going to go with the Giants. I think the Giants are going to upset. It's at home, but they're going to have the upset and beat the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, Doc, you took my take verbatim. Um, I'm going with the Giants because of everything Doc just said, right? LaFleur looks like it seems as if his scheme has gotten stale. And for whatever reason, there still doesn't seem to be a, a semblance of trust in Jordan Love. Like they haven't really handed over the keys to him and say, "Hey, make stuff happen." And so he seems to be playing under a lot of restriction and structure, and he I don't get it. I don't understand it. If they don't make the necessary changes and adjustments, um, switch up the plays, put in some wrinkles in the scheme, Giants are going to win this game, and I don't think it's going to be close. Uh, they Packers, they don't have any tape on Jameis right now. They don't have any tape on Kafka on what he's going to do. The interim head coach. And now the Giants have nothing to lose. They don't need to tank. Remember, they got their guy, so they could go out there and they could just wing it, and that's always dangerous for a team that has high expectations and are not meeting them, and now they're reeling, and now they're going to press, and they're going to try they're going to feel like their backs against the wall because they should be better than what they are, going up against this team that don't care. It doesn't matter. We're just going to go out there and do whatever we feel is going to, you know, make us successful for this game. So I'm going to put my chips in with the Giants and pick them to win this one.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I'll never pick NFCs. Um, all right. We,
That's not very analytical of you, Lynx.
Slide it in there. Slide it in there.
You couldn't even help yourself, man.
I couldn't, man. All right. In this next game, we got the Bengals, 3-6 Bengals, traveling to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. The Bengals don't look good. Although they open up the practice window for Joe Burrow, and I understand Joe Flacco. They were like, hey, well, Joe is coming in, so you go back to where and Joe was like, man, I don't care. I don't care. It don't matter to me. I mean, whatever. And I mean, what do you expect? But Joe Burrow's not going to be playing in this game. Joe Flacco's still going to be playing. You got Aaron Rodgers over on the other side. The Steelers are helter skelter. They show up at times. They don't show up. This is a rivalry. This is a division game. But I just can't. The Bengals have nobody on defense, man. I mean, the defense is just. I think this is going to be a close game. Still, and Joe Flacco will put up some points, and it's going to be up to And Aaron Rodgers has been playing well. He's been playing okay. So, with that being said, and the Bengals defense not really being that good, they got some bright spots here and there in a couple of positions, but yeah, Pittsburgh Steelers are gonna win this one. I think it's gonna be close, but I still think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win.
This is surprisingly a really good, compelling matchup because we got the Bengals offense, and all they can do is throw against the worst pass defense in the league. And then we got the Pittsburgh offense, which isn't great, but is pretty decent at scoring. Like they just maximize what they can against the worst defense in the league, right? So it's like, yeah. So I'm actually gonna go and say because the Pittsburgh Steelers are worse against the pass than the Bengals even.
Right.
I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I think old man Flacco is gonna pull something out. They're gonna win by 3, 2, or 1. It ain't gonna be no blowout. But I think the Bengals. This is probably gonna be high 20s, if not 30s. But I think the Bengals are gonna pull one out and beat Pittsburgh.
Hmm. Yeah, I think Pittsburgh is going to win this one. I'm going to pick them. I think at the beginning of the season, the passing defense was pretty bad. Unlike the Bills, they have now made some adjustments. Um, Jalen Ramsey, he was a liability on at the corner position. They've now moved him to safety, and he's been playing much better there with his knowledge of the game. He's lost a step, just a tad bit, but he seems to find like that free safety position. It seems to be a natural spot for him. So,
Bless you.
so I'm gonna go with. Thank you. I'm gonna go with the Steelers, because coming off of that loss against the Chargers, I think they're gonna they're gonna come out this one, all cylinders go, right? They're going to have.
Might have lost lead there. Yeah, so it looks like we lost Lee. So we're gonna see if he could all right, Lee, you're back. All right, go ahead.
Am I back? Yeah, all
Yeah,
right.
you're back.
Yeah. No, so yeah, just to cut it short, I'm going with the Steelers. I think the defense is going to make up. They're going to catch back up to playing the style, that they're going to be playing because they made those adjustments in the defensive backfield, and they're going to pull this one out.
Gotcha. All right. All right. In this next match, this is pretty easy for me. This is Houston Texans traveling to Tennessee to play 4-5 Houston Texans, kind of doing a little winning streak here. Titans going up 1-8 Titans. Yeah, I really don't have anything to say other than I believe in D'Amico Ryans like I've always been saying, and they play in Tennessee, so yeah, I'm going with the Texans.
You can never be certain with these divisional matchups. This is the old, Houston Oilers against the Houston Texans, and man, the Tennessee Titans really want to stick it to the second Houston team, and they only got one win, and be great for. Okay, let me stop. Yeah, it's Houston, Texas gonna win this. Um, I actually liked what I saw from Mills last week. He's not C.J. Stroud, but he played well as we expected as a competent backup quarterback. Yeah, Houston's got this.
I'm going to call an upset here, guys. I'm gonna pick the Titans. I think I think they'll do. Texans. They had a I like Mills. I think Mills is a competent backup quarterback. Now you have a little bit of tape on him. Titans, they are reeling, but they're at home. A little bit of a history there, as Doc said, between the history, between the two franchises. Um, and this is it's a divisional game. So I think the Titans could possibly pull this one out. So I'm gonna pick them.
Hmm, interesting. All right, I hope they get their second win, man. Um, all right, so let's move into the afternoon games here. First one we got the 49ers. They got spanked pretty good last week by those Rams, and they're going to be traveling to Arizona to play the Cardinals. So 49ers Cardinals.
Jeez.
49ers are 6-4. Cardinals 3-6. Um, yeah, the Cardinals are really not impressive to me. And I think the 49ers, be it all beat up and whatever and whatever's going on. Brock Purdy is back, so he's going to be playing in this game. He's going to be back. He has something to prove that, hey, look, I am the starter. This is my team. I am the franchise QB. And he got something to prove. So he's going to come out slinging. And so Yeah, 49ers are going to win this game. The Cardinals just don't have what it takes at this point. So 49ers for me.
So Brock Purdy's back. Going to okay. Yeah, I got to go with the Niners. I mean, I got to go with the Niners. I was, you, when Doctor Strange is there doing the whole like trying to come up with the possibilities, and it's like I can't even come up with one. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna go with the Niners against Arizona. I'd probably go with the Niners even if it was Mac Jones. Um, Arizona's just they're listless. They're just floating in the water. Brissett does what he can, but it ain't enough. So yeah, San Francisco.
I was going with the Niners, even if they had Nate Peterman as their quarterback. So, like, I don't think so. I think this is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer, man. Niners are gonna take this one. I don't see. I think Cardinals are now that they're that dark horse coming up on that number one pick. Like everyone looking at the Jets and the Browns, and they're like, what coming up on the rear around that bend? So yeah, I'm picking the Niners.
All right. We agree on that one.
Hey,
In this next game, you got the
and real quick,
Baltimore. Yeah,
I forgot Marvin Harrison Jr. is out with the
Out.
appendicitis.
yeah. He's out. Yeah,
So
yeah.
It's not like he was getting the ball.
He wasn't
anyway.
doing anything anyway. Yeah,
He wasn't throwing him the ball.
yeah, he wasn't doing anything. So, all right. So we got the Baltimore Ravens, Cleveland Browns. Baltimore is traveling to Cleveland to play the Browns. They did say that Lamar Jackson has like a knee, issue. I don't know if he practiced today, but he is going to play. I think he's going to play. And so, with that being said, and with Dylan Gabriel still being the quarterback, even though he's a rookie, and and whatever, yeah, I think the Ravens are going to win this game. I just don't. The Browns have a good defense. Don't get me wrong. They got some great pieces there, Myles Garrett, and but yeah, I think the Ravens are going to travel into Cleveland, and they're going to put together a good game. Lamar Jackson is going to hit his tight ends. Derrick Henry is going to get him about 85 yards or so, and the Baltimore Ravens are going to win this game. It's going to be a methodical win. It's not going to be a blowout, but it's going to be a methodical win the game. With for Baltimore. So I'm going with the Ravens.
again, divisional matchup, right? The old Cleveland Browns against the new Cleveland Browns. Um, this is going to be a nice matchup of a good offense against a great defense. And I think the Achilles heel is Cleveland's offense having to go up against Baltimore's defense. And that the defense is playing a lot better with Baltimore. They made some changes in the secondary. They made that secondary more stout. I don't have much faith in Gabriel. So yeah, Baltimore's going to win this. They're going to get their fourth straight win as they try to make their push to make the playoffs. So
Yeah, I'm going Ravens. And until the Browns find out like what time it is, I I'm gonna I can't fathom picking them to win this game.
Yeah, yeah. All right. In this next game, this is a doozy, man. This is a doozy. We got the Kansas City Chiefs, 5-4, going to they are traveling to Denver to play the 8-2 Denver Broncos. This is good. This is a must win for Kansas City. This is a must win. This is not a if and or but win. This is a must win for them. They got to come in. And coming off a bye, Andy Reid is really good. coming off bye weeks, and you saw how Bo Nix looked in his last game. They're 8-2, but they're really not 8-2. So I can't pick against Kansas City, especially with them coming off a bye week. They're rested, they're prepared, and they are going to be ready to go to make a run in this AFC. So the Chiefs are going to show Denver Broncos what time it is. They're going to show them what a championship team looks like and what they do and how they do it. And so, yeah, I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs in this game. I just can't pick Denver, seeing that Bo Nix is not there.
The for me, the interesting thing is what Denver has been doing this year is pretty much what Kansas City was doing the last 2 years, which is lean on the defense, and the offense does just enough, and don't turn the ball over, right? And Knicks last year in particular, and even earlier this year, was doing a really good job of protecting the ball. Now it's starting to get a little suspect. A few more turnovers, taking a few more sacks than he has in the past. Um, I think, unfortunately for Denver, Kansas City is seeing this as a playoff game, and we know how they do in playoff games by and large. So, yeah, I got to go with Kansas City in this. I would love to go with the 8-2 team at home, a mile up in a mile up against a 5-4 team, but this ain't the typical 5-4 team, and I don't think this is the typical 8-2 team. So yeah, I'm gonna go to Kansas City.
Yep. Chiefs. Going with the Chiefs in this one. Mahomes and that squad, their backs are against the wall. I think this is a must win for them. They tend to pull these type of games out. I don't trust Bo Nix. Um, I don't think the Broncos are going to continue to be able to ride this wave that they've been on for the past couple of games. J.K. Dobbins, I think, is going to be out, or he's potentially not going to play this game as well. Um, I like the rookie R.J. Harris. I think
Mm-hmm.
he has a bright future. I think he's a decent weapon. So he might step in and kind of doing what I think Trayvon Henderson for the Patriots. He just scored his third touchdown. Um, but I believe Andy coming off of a bye, he's stellar, right? So I think they're gonna have a pretty good game plan and pull this one out. Chiefs.
Gotcha. All right. All right. One of the games of the week. Seattle Seahawks.
We ain't hit Monday yet. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
One of the games of the week. Seattle Seahawks. 7-2. Travel to Los Angeles to play these Rams. 7-2. Boy, people have been talking about this game a lot, and they have been giving Sam Darnold some big praise. I mean, a heap of praise. And Sam Darnold has been looking good. Uh, However, there's one caveat. He's not played a team that has put a lot of pressure on him, and we saw a glimpse of it
Yeah.
in their previous game. We saw a glimpse of it,
Yeah.
but he is going to see even more of it in this game. And until Sam Darnold
Hold on.
can beat a team with a defense like the Rams, I will be shocked. I will be absolutely shocked if Sam Darnold can win this game. Now he has weapons around him, right? Jackson Smith and Jigba, and I'm not saying this is going to be an annihilation. However, the Rams know this guy. He's sort of like he's sort of like the Detroit quarterback, and I don't think he's going to know what's going to hit him come this game because the Rams are going to have his head spinning, man. So with that being said, I'm going with the Los Angeles Rams to win this game, and people are going to realize this is the real Sam Darnold.
So, this weekend, there are two games essentially back to back that are must see TV. We're going to talk about the other one in a moment. And that one I think gets more publicity from being more popular teams facing each other. But from like a football matchup aspect, this is the game I really want to see. Right? Um, you got two really good teams in the division. They know each other. Both 7-2 going at it. And this honestly, like, either one of these teams could represent the National Football Conference in early February. And I'm gonna cut to the chase. Being a Minnesota Vikings fan, we had Sam Darnold last year. Sam Darnold did not beat the LA Rams last year, and he is not going to beat the LA Rams this year. So I'm going with the Rams. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, look, and not just because my team. I'm going with the Rams, of course, right? But it's because of what Doc just said, how we played against Sam Darnold last year when he was with the Vikings. Sam Darnold is the reason why I feel comfortable picking the Rams. That and what I saw during the tail end of the game last week against the lowly Cardinals when they started to apply pressure on Sam Darnold, he started to make a whole lot of mistakes. Darnold has 17 touchdowns and 6 interceptions this season. Stafford has 20 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. I think Stafford is just playing at a more efficient level than Darnold, even though that doesn't get talked about as much as Darnold right now because Smith and Jig was just lighting it up, and he's making him look really good. What does worry me is the fact that they picked up Shaheed from the Saints, so you got another burner on the other side of the field. I think our DBs are now finally getting healthy because we've been down a couple of DBs all season. People haven't talked about that. And that was what kind of snake bit us against the Eagles when we played you guys. We didn't have our full assortment of defensive backs. I think we're finally going to get healthy. Hopefully that kind of helps reinforce our defense on the back end against the speed that Seattle has. But if our front four can get to Darnold, it's over. And I think they can. And I feel McVay is going to scheme us up real nice on the offensive side to counter anything that Seattle defense has against us. And the defense on Seattle is pretty good. I think they scored 2 touchdowns last week, albeit again against the Cardinals. But that being said, yeah, I think we're going to pull this one out. This is just the first of 2. So I think we play them shortly after this one as well. So, man, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good matchup and a good litmus test again going forward about whether who's got what it takes to take the conference.
Yeah, this is that's really a good game, and I'm going to be watching it before this Monday night game because these are some opponents that are going to be in the playoffs, and I want to see it. I want to see it. So this is going to be interesting. I want to see how everything shakes out.
You mean the Monday night game, Cowboys and the Raiders?
You mean Sunday night?
Sunday night. I'm sorry.
Sunday night.
Yeah, Sunday night.
It's like, wait a minute.
I'm in his head now. I'm in his head now.
Sunday night. Yeah. Let's get to Sunday night. Let's get to Sunday night. I'm gonna say this: 6-3 Lions travel to Philadelphia to play my Eagles. 7-2 Eagles. All right. I'm kind of a little nervous about this game. Kind of a little nervous. Little nervous. Maybe about this much. The running game of the Detroit Lion is what concerns me. It really does concern me. Because if these guys get going, it's going to be a long night. And we can't allow them to get started because if they get started, then that's going to open play action up for Goff, and it's Yeah, I could see that being a problem. We still got a Dory Jackson out there who I loathe being out there at the CB2 spot. I mean, it was just by the grace of
Still on the
goodness
team?
last week. Yeah, yeah, yes, yeah. So that he wasn't he man. So that is the Achilles heel. Now you got um Amon-Ra St. Brown. You got Williamson, and you know it's this one has me nervous. This one has me nervous, but not nervous enough at all. The reason why is because guess what? We're gonna shut down the run. Jalen Carter is in the middle. We got the other Jalen coming off the edge from Miami, who we picked up, and he showed he was worth the third round pick in this game. We got our D line coming alive. Nolan Smith is back. We getting our D line back now. We wasn't putting pressure on people before, but now it's going down. And that's why I feel so much better. If we were going against these guys without our D line being this healthy now, because early in the season our D line was shot. We didn't have anybody. Now we have guys competing because they know I might go on the bench. So now the pressure, the dial has been dialed up. And Vic Fangio, I trust, man, on this defensive side. Look, we're going to shut down the run. I'm not saying they're not gonna get some yards. They're gonna get yards. They're gonna get their yards. But we are going to harass. We are going to harass Jared Goff. And that's the recipe to win this game. And with our D-line being healthy, it's over. That if they weren't, then it would have been kind of shaky. But our D-line is healthy, and we coming for you. And so this is going to be a good game. It's not going to be a blowout. It's not going to be because the Eagles aren't blowing out people, but the Eagles find a way to win. And so it's going to be a very, very good game. Very interesting, very exciting. But we're going to put Jared Goff under duress, man. It goes without saying I'm picking my birds, obviously. So I'm excited about this game because Amon-Ra St. Brown has been talking about this game. He's wanted us since last year. And you know what? We're going to give it to you, Amon-Ra. We're going to give you exactly what you want. And I want, after this game, I want the pundits from ESPN. I want to see what are you going to say now about my Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly, man. That's all I got to say.
This is the slobber knocker, right? This is two teams that love to run the ball and play good defense going at each other, right? I think Howie Roseman had this thing circled on the calendar, and come trade deadlines, like we ain't ready on defense enough. So let me go get some other players to boost the defense for this game in particular, right? That we got comparators and we got depth just in case. Philly got a good team. Philly's got a really good team, right?
Bad coach. Bad coach.
They're not clicking on all cylinders because even after wins, folks are disgruntled and posting stuff on social media and talking to folks, and then
Coaching.
other people are getting asked, "Hey, what do you think about what the wide receiver said?" And against most teams, Eagles are good enough that it's not gonna make a difference. But this one, those y'all gonna be in the trenches, and you gotta trust the person next to you, and there's just a little bit of friction, and that's not good in these kind of games. The other thing, based on what happened last week, if that head coach Dan Campbell calling plays again, yeah, you're gonna get the best Detroit Lions you've seen in a long time. So because of those two reasons, AJ Brown and Dan Campbell, I'm going with the Detroit Lions on this one. I hate saying it because they're in my division, but I'm going with the Detroit Lions on this one.
This is a no-brainer, man. It's a no-brainer. I mean, it's not even close. It's not even close. Um, Look, Howie Roseman, I think for the first time, has made uh, a calculated mistake.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, yeah, he finally made a mistake. And Links, you touched on it. Adoree Jackson, that's the Achilles heel, right? That's the Achilles heel. Y'all are gonna sell out against the run, and y'all may do a very good job of containing the run, not stopping it, but containing it. But you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, and you got Jamison Williams on the other side. Okay, Howie Roseman had picked up Jair Alexander for that very same reason, and Jair Alexander came in and said, "Thanks, but no thanks. I
Thanks.
retire. No time. I gotta. I got some stuff I gotta figure out." And that was the calculated mistake. Putting the chips there to solve that problem. Now you don't have anything. Okay. So now I kind of stuck with Adoree, and I don't trust Adoree. I trust him less than Lynx trust him. Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell, and I thought about this for a while. I'm like, why all of a sudden is he taking up the calls? Like, what? They've been clicking. They've been doing pretty well up until last week. And then I saw a stat where Goff has been the most hit quarterback in the league. He hasn't been taking a lot of sacks, but he's been taking a lot of hits. And any smart coach knows I can't have that with my franchise guy, especially playing at the clip that he's been playing. We need to minimize those hits. And I feel Campbell feels or felt that he needed to take over so that he can help minimize those situations while still maximizing their throughput and getting, positive net yards and scores on the offensive side. So they looked even more refined last week with Dan Campbell calling the plays. So you have that as well. Then you have AJ Brown, who was quoted as saying, "If you got me on your fantasy team, drop me. Drop me." He said, don't even keep me on your fantasy team. Okay. So he doesn't even have faith that he's going to be able to produce or do anything in this offense going forward this season. All right. So with all of that, I think that the Lions are going to come in, and I think they're going to not just win. I think they're going to win this one pretty easily in this game. So I'm going with the Lions.
All right, all right, all right, all right. So let's
If they get ahead, Links.
yeah.
If see the problem I think now with the Eagles are they're stout. We know that they're tough, but these have been a lot of close games.
Mm-hmm.
If the Lions get ahead by 2 scores,
Yeah.
and you all have to throw the ball, it's over.
I disagree on that. Reason why is
Mhm.
because I know for a fact people have been putting people have been thinking this is a Jalen Hurts AJ Brown issue. It's not. And what and I realized this also in that last game because both of them conspired to change that last play on the fly. They said, "Hey," Jalen was like, "Hey, I'm throwing this to you at the end because if you catch this, game over for sure." And
Right.
so they changed the play at the line, and so that gave me confidence with them too that they there. Jalen just handles things differently. AJ, doing his thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think AJ is actually going to have a big game because they are going to need him big time. And he's going to show him and Jalen. Look, they're talking. Now, guess what? Detroit is going to do their thing. But because this has gotten to the point, and there was a report today that the head of security, Dom, had the owner of the team, Jeffrey Lurie, at the practice facility talking to AJ Brown today. And it appeared that they had a really good conversation, laughing, joking, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Look, With that being said,
Big
AJ
Dom.
Brown's gonna have a big game.
Big Dom. Put some
Big
respect
Dom.
on his name. Big Dom.
Yes, yes. Let me put some respect on Big Dom. So, with that being said, AJ Brown's gonna have a big game. They're going to make sure. Look, the owner came down and say, look, AJ, I know you're frustrated. I know you're frustrated. Okay, we're gonna make something happen. AJ Brown is not gonna go into this game. They're not gonna go into this game with all of this that's been going on. And he does not have another big. He doesn't have a big game, or at least some semblance of a game. I'm not saying this astronomical game, but he's gonna have something.
But you see the problem with what you're saying though, right?
Yeah.
If it was a AJ Brown problem or Hurts problem, I would have felt more comfortable. They would fix it.
Yeah.
Right. If it was an owner problem, right? Your owner is a good owner. They would fix it.
Yeah.
If it was a GM problem, how we would figure that out. None of them are the problem. Your problem is the coach.
Head coach OC.
Right. Your problem is Sirianni. He's the issue. And I ain't hear Big Dom, pulling him aside and asking him to talk to AJ Brown and fix this. Look, I waiting for Sirianni to start calling these plays and see this thing really fall off the cliff. Okay? That's what I waiting
for. Dan Campbell.
Yep.
It worked for Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell. I could do that too.
I could do that too.
I could do that too. Sirianni is the problem.
Yank that playbook out of his hand.
Sirianni is the problem. If Sirianni doesn't, if he doesn't get this right, which I don't have faith that he will, this will continue. Yeah. And I give AJ Brown I give him enough credit to, keep things professional, which he's been doing.
Yeah.
And we know Hurts is, he's that guy. He doesn't, he always comes out of it unscathed emotionally, right? Yeah. But Sirianni, man, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't understand how you can have all of these players and still be playing at half capacity. You guys should be a lot better than what you guys are showing on the field. Yes, you're winning. I get it. You're winning, but it don't feel like winning watching it.
Yeah.
And when you come up against a team that got all their ducks in a row, like the Lions, they're buttoned up on all three levels. It just doesn't. That's not a good recipe for you guys. Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting, man. I'm excited about it though. I'm excited about this one. All right, Monday night game. We have the lowly 3-5-1 Dallas Cowboys going against the even lowlier 2-7 Raiders.
We got to pick
this one. I mean, I don't even know. Like when they put this one on Monday night, I don't know what they would. I don't know if they thought the Raiders were going to be good or what, or if the Cowboys were going to be good. I don't know because
Tom told them to put this one on there.
Tom put it. Tom put it. Tom might have had some hand in this, but this one right here. Yeah.
Say it.
Yeah. I'm going with the Raiders. I'm going with the Raiders in this game. I think the Raiders are gonna really make this one. They're gonna make this one interesting, man. They're gonna make this one interesting. I can't.
No way.
Look, I know I said earlier NFC East, right? But the truth of the matter is Dak Prescott. I can't trust Dak Prescott. I just can't. On a Monday night, pressure situations, because the reason of the pressure is it's not like the Raiders are going to put pressure on him, right? They're not going to put pressure on Dak. Dak is going to put the pressure on himself. This is what he always does. They want to try and win, and Jerry is saying we got to win this game. Everybody is expecting them to win this game, and that's the reason why Dallas is going to lose. I'm going with the Raiders in this game, man. Dak is going to find a way to lose this game for the Dallas Cowboys. Trust me. Watch it.
You really don't like the Dallas Cowboys. You really don't like the Dallas Cowboys. So, this game is not nearly as exciting as the two previous games we broke down. But I'm going to get a little heavy here with with Nealon having the suicide, and this is the first game since that happened.
Yeah.
Dallas is gonna be lockstep. Really nice guys. The whole mental illness and trying to. There's a lot that we still don't understand, but they're gonna want to get some catharsis on the field. And unfortunately for Las Vegas, that's the team they playing. So Dallas gonna win this game, and I don't think it's gonna be close. I think the Dallas offense is gonna be playing really well, pushing the ball downfield to those two wide receivers. They'll complement with the running game, but I think you're gonna see the defense play out of this world. I think they're gonna have their best game of the season, and the Raiders don't look good on offense and they don't look good on defense. So going up against that, the Cowboys are gonna win.
Every time we record, right? Doc will say a word, and I just have to write it down. Catharsis. I just have to write it down. Catharsis, and then look it up.
Yeah, I would have to look that up.
Yeah, I gotta look that one up. Catharsis, and I gotta use that in a sentence. I gotta use that later. Catharsis. I'm going with the Cowboys on this one. I trust Geno Smith even less than I would trust Dak Prescott, but Doc said it in terms of the whole emotional impact of this game, right? Catharsis. Anyway, the whole emotional impact of this game on the Cowboy side, right? I'm not gonna do it because I still feel like I'm gonna say it out of context, right? I'm not gonna do it, but I feel like they're gonna be rolling on all cylinders, man. Like this is more than just football for the Cowboys. They're gonna come out after what just happened, and they're gonna be on an emotional high, trying to get this game in, and Nealon is going to be like that rallying cry now for the remainder of the season for them. So I don't see what the Raiders have on their side that can that they can hang their hat on the field. I don't see it. Ashton Genty has no help. He has no line. They don't have any weapons on the outside to lighten the box for him. So he still is the most hit running back behind the line of scrimmage. And again, don't trust Geno Smith right now because Geno Smith doesn't have anyone that he can lean on either. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Cowboys.
Yeah. All right. I call them the Dallas Falcons. It always happens. It always happens. So all right. Hey, great slate of games coming up. This is gonna be exciting weekend. Some really, really, really great games going down, man. I'm excited about it. So yeah, man, we'll follow back up next week. And hey, you just stay in contact, man.
All right.
All right, fellas.
All right, guys.
Yep. Later.